Her yes was the only thing that was going to decide if Lord Rama was to be born. And she gave up her palace so that her father could have heirs. She gave up her name so that the brothers could make a name for themselves for eternity. This is the story of Shanta, who happens to be the eldest sister of Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna. She was born as the elder child of the Surya Vansha. And the story is often misconstructed that she was given away by Dasharatha because he was seeking a successor because he had no sons. The reality is completely different. As a matter of fact, she was adopted by the closest of the friends to Dasharatha, called as Romapada. Romapada had committed a Brahmana aparadha, which is insulting a Brahmin, for which he was cursed that his kingdom of Anga would suffer from drought. People looked up to him as a savior. The entire region dried up with no rains. The only thing that could break this curse was if a sage of extreme purity entered his kingdom. And was there a sage like that? Yes. And there was a sage called Rishyasringa. But there was a problem. It was not as easy as you'd think to go invite the sage to come to his kingdom. He was eternally celibate because his father was so afraid of him getting distracted by the worldly distractions. He raised him in dense forests where the only human being he saw was his father. And he did not even know that there was something called as a woman that even existed. To get a sage like that to walk into the kingdom of Romapada was next to impossible. And that is where the problem is. Anybody who tried to get the sage out of this forest would be cursed by his father. And Shanta was the only one who could do that because she was able to awaken this sage to make him understand that there are other things in life apart from the forest, and she chooses to do this for the welfare of the kingdom of Anga. She gets married to the sage and both of them leave to the adopted father Romapada's kingdom, and Indra instantly blesses the kingdom with showers. Now this is when King Dasharatha decides to perform Putrakameshti yoga because he needed heirs to rule the kingdom of Ayodhya after him. And a sage like Rishyasringa would make sure he appealed to the gods to bless the couple with the children. And the sage was called, and he started performing the Putrakameshti yoga. For a ritual like this to be successful, the sage has to be accompanied by his wife, and this is when King Dasharatha requests Romapada to send his daughter Shanta along with the sage for the benefit of the ritual. Romapada agrees, and this is when Shanta walks into Ayodhya to stand next to her husband to say that divine yes that became instrumental in the four brothers securing a name for themselves for an eternity. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first woman who needs to be celebrated in Ramayana, who set the story in motion. Most often is forgotten. But guess what? Not anymore.